today we're going back to the breaks. This time we're talking about the one pocket break. All right, I told you we're going to go through all the breaks, and this video is about the one pocket break. One pocket is a very popular game, especially amongst like gamblers. It's the game of choice for a lot of people. I love it. It's my favorite game. It requires all aspects of pool. There's kicking, banking, safety play, pocketing, strategy. It's the best game to me out of all of them. It's my favorite. So it's a great game to learn. And the first thing you want to learn is the break. So I'm going to teach you 2 breaks, a little bit about the rack, and a little bit about cue ball placement. So let's dig in. One pocket. If you're new to one pocket, and I'm guessing if you clicked on this video, you're pretty new to one pocket, or maybe you just want a few extra tips. But if you're breaking from this side, generally that's your pocket, unless you call otherwise. Break from over this side, that's your pocket. So unless you call otherwise, that's what it is. When you're breaking here, what you're trying to do is you're trying to hit this first and second ball pretty much at the exact same time with inside English, high inside English maybe. And the objective here is, so this 6 ball doesn't leak out. You want a ball here, here, and here, if possible, and the cue ball up here. So what it's doing is being blocked by the rack, and the opponent isn't able to get those balls out. They're protected by the rack. Traditionally, a lot of people break close to this rail. I tend to break out here, like this, and what that does is it helps there's less collision on this second ball, and so the 6th ball in this case, the wing ball, doesn't go over to that pocket as much. So I'll show you that break with this positioning, and I'm just aiming at this second ball. In this case, it's the 4 ball. I'm just aiming for like pretty much a full hit with inside English, high inside English. I don't hit it too soft, but it's definitely not too hard. So they hit basically at the same time. It's not ideal. Ideal would be frozen to the rail. The 6 leaked out a little bit, but at least I didn't leave it. What's nice here is that the 12 is completely blocked. This 13 ball is completely blocked. They don't really have a shot. They don't have a way to get back here. This is a pretty good break. The only thing that they could do is maybe bank this 2 up here and slide behind there, but that's not a real great shot. So overall, the break is pretty good. So let's try it again. All right, let's try it again, but this time we're going to come closer to the rail here. And what this does is it'll have more impact, so it's going to push more towards the pocket, but you got to worry about that, in this case, 2 ball on the wing there. Worry about that squirting over. This isn't my favorite break. I prefer out here, but I'm going to give this a try, see if we can get a good result. This time I'm aiming not quite full to the 1, but just a little bit more inside towards that top ball, that 6 ball. And again, that came out pretty great. So the 14 is pretty much hanging in the hole, and there's no real access to it. You'd have to, this is a pretty great break. There's really, pretty much they're going to be kicking at this ball and trying to get it out because you can't hit this 14. So that worked out pretty well. Again, that was high inside English. Let's try another break. This is very different. All right, this time, before we shoot, we're going to tell our opponent we're declaring this pocket over here. And I don't recommend this break. I wouldn't shoot this break with your money, let alone my own. But some people shoot this break. A lot of old timers like this break because there's potential for really good results. There's also potential for really bad results. But what you're going to do is you're going to kick 1 rail into the stack and hopefully freeze the cue ball and get balls towards your pocket. Again, you got to declare before this that that's your pocket because this is not traditional. We're just going to hit this with a little bit of a high ball right into the stack. And it turned out okay. Not great, but okay. We'll try it one more time. So let's try it again. Maybe we get better results. using the mirror system. I'm just aiming for a wrap. Pretty much I'm aiming for that 2-ball or 8-ball mirrored over on the other side of the rail. If you don't remember that, go check out the mirror system. That'll make a lot more sense. Just a high ball, a little tougher, a little harder. Again, results came out pretty good. I mean, to get out, the 6 balls going right towards the pocket. I didn't leave them a shot. They're going to have to probably kick to get behind that. So it's not bad results. Sometimes that works. I wouldn't shoot it on a regular basis, but you know, some people do. So we talked about the traditional break. We talked about the non-traditional break. We talked about ball position and how that affects it. Let's talk about the rack. All right, we're talking about the rack. Some things to look out for, some things to make it easier. Let's dig into that. So first of all, you want to get the balls frozen. If you're racking for yourself, you really want the balls frozen. And what I typically do, and a lot of people try to do, is put a contrast between the first 2 balls. So in this case, I'm breaking from over here. The 2 and the 5 are contrasting colors. So like you wouldn't want to use like that 6 and that 8 up front because it's harder to see the contrast. So I want that bright ball at second because that's what I'm aiming at. If you are racking for yourself, you know, you want to get a tight rack. If there happens to be a little gap between this 5 and 6 or the 6 and 10 or the 10 and the 1, that little gap, when you hit it, it's going to really slow down that 1 ball. Not saying to cheat the rack, but if there happens to be a gap, it's going to work out in your favor. As far as where to rack the balls, if you're racking for yourself and your opponent tends to be racking higher than the spot, that wing ball has a chance to go in the pocket. Usually that means a re-rack. Some people will cheat you. Don't let them cheat you. If you make a ball on the break, it's a re-rack. But if they're racking them high and that ball starts going in or comes close, keep watching it. Tell them to rack the balls on the spot. The higher you go up, the better chance that ball has to go towards that pocket or in the pocket. The lower, you know, they're gonna miss the pocket and it'll be all good. So hopefully they're racking them on the spot. That's really it. You know, like I said, watch out for those gaps. If that 1 ball isn't moving at all and you see someone, you know, touching these balls, creating a little gap, go over there and call it on them. You know, like I said, if you're racking for your own and, you know, there happens to be a gap there, well, it's going to work out in your favor. Not saying cheat, but it works. So it's a pretty simple video. There wasn't a whole lot to the break. I think the racking part of it, there's some nuances there that, you know, like racking them high or leaving gaps that you might catch your opponent doing. If you catch them, you know, now you have some ammo, you know what the balls are doing. As a little bonus content here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break a couple times and then I'm going to try to get out of my own break, or what I think is the best thing. I'm not a world-class one pocket player, but, you know, let's take a look and see what I can do. All right, this time we'll break from over here. This is the side I'd normally break on. That's okay. It's pretty good. Ideally, what I wanted a ball closer to the pocket, but it's hard to control. But there's a giant wall of balls, and it's going to be hard for me to get my cue ball over there behind these balls. Usually getting out of the break is one of the hardest things to do in one pocket. If someone lays down a good break, it becomes very tough. I wouldn't recommend this against a top player, but against a weak player, this is the shot I would play here. I can't get my ball back here. Even if I kick, I'd have to get lucky to go in between there and not scratch. It's actually a pretty good break, considering there's nothing close to the pocket. What I'm going to do here is take a foul, which is very common in one pocket. And what I did there is just double them up. They can't make the 5, they can't make the 14. They can try the 13. It's decently risky. The only saving grace is that if they miss, They can get their cue ball behind that 11 and 7. So it's probably, against a weak player, this is a pretty good shot. Ideally frozen to the rail. Against a top player, they're probably going to make this 13. All right, those breaks were pretty good. Let's see if we can possibly have a worse break here so we can have a better return. Sometimes taking a foul is just the best return, but, you know, let's see if we can do something else here. So my cue ball came up way high this time. This is better for video's sake, but that's a pretty bad break. You don't want, nothing really went over here, and my cue ball came up really high, exposing really their only ball. It's sort of bankable. It's not really bankable, but I can get it to this side, and what I'm going to try to do is just bank it to this side and just get my cue ball over here on the 3. I don't want to go too hard because then I'll expose this 14, but ideally just follow the ball back into that stack. And that turned out perfect. Balls by my pocket. They are almost frozen to 2 different balls.
I found this on the web.
Siri found it on the web. Almost frozen to 2 balls. That's a pretty good return. Now they're going to have to try to kick your ball out. So let's try one more and see where we get. All right, we're going to try one more break and return. See where we get. This is a pretty good break. That 9 ball is protected. The 3 stops me from kicking it out. Probably the best bet, again, is to kick up table to like right here to come in behind it. I'm going to try something a little riskier. Not offensive, but a little riskier. Just using the follow system to try to get the cue ball behind that 9. This is very touchy, but I'm going to try it. So that worked out pretty well. I got a ball to my side. I got the ball behind their balls. They don't have the best offensive shot from here. Maybe the bank the 2, but you know, not really anything super aggressive. Like I said, it's a great game. It's the best game. If you don't play it, you really should. You'll get a lot out of this game. You'll learn a lot. Your cue ball will get better. Your banking will get better. Your decision making will get better. Your weighing risk versus reward will get better playing this game. You should try it. Keep playing the game. Find someone who's really good at it. Play them $5 a game just to learn. Just $10 a game. Whatever you can afford, whatever they'll play you for, learn it. And don't just give them money. Learn from every single rack. So hopefully you get better, and over time it improves your 9-ball game, improves your 10-ball game, improves your straight pull game, and improves the rest of the games for you. Hope this all helps. Hope you learn to love the game like I do. Good luck.